Become anxiously attached and you'll never be abandoned. So obviously becoming anxiously attached is the way forward if you fear abandonment, because the more that you attach, the closer you become to someone. Makes complete sense. So if you also never want to be ghosted or rejected or left, then just become anxiously attached. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how to do that. These are 5 ways that you can become anxiously attached so that you never get abandoned and you get the love that you've always wanted. The first tip that I have for you is when someone pulls away or needs some space, that you smother them and you don't let them go. Even if it's just for an hour, like they just need a little bit of rest or whatever, that you completely harass them, you text them, you call them, you don't leave them alone, you worry, definitely worry, and you kind of keep asking them like, hey, is everything okay? Do you still love me? And just keep seeking this like validation. This is definitely gonna keep them closer. Because if you give them space, you know they're never gonna come back. Because why would they? You're not worthy enough or good enough for them to come back to. Okay, so the second tip that I have for you to avoid getting abandoned and become more anxiously attached is to become whoever your person needs or wants you to be, or to give them whatever they want, or to meet their needs so that they find more value in you. So the key is to abandon yourself so that you can meet their needs. Remember, it's all about their needs, not yours. Okay, so the third tip that I have for you is whenever you cannot feel close to your partner because they're unavailable, a great way to become anxiously attached so that you don't get abandoned is to start obsessively thinking about them, what they're doing, how they're feeling about you, what they could be, doing right now. Just like essentially just like start fixating on them and this person, because this is gonna make you feel like you're closer to them. Also like worry a lot and like think about what can go wrong and how they are gonna abandon you and how they probably are already abandoning you and how they're probably never ever gonna text you back and how this is gonna be detrimental to your survival. You can also call your friend to talk to them about your partner and what your partner could be doing, and by talking about your partner, this makes you feel closer to them. Or bonus points, if you read tarot, you can just do a bunch of tarot readings on them or watch tarot readings on how they feel about you. The more needy and attached you become, the more you draw them closer. This is like the optimal energy for manifestation, right? The more attached you become, the more they come to you. The fourth tip that I have for you to keep them close and not get abandoned is to read into every little thing that they do and say. Like notice all of the little cues, that little facial expression, the little micro expression, their body language, that one word that they said. Why did they say that? That must mean something, because honestly, everything has meaning. Every single thing that your person does or says has meaning, and it has meaning about how much they love you, how loyal they are, if they're going to leave you. Everything is a message about you potentially getting abandoned. So if you can get ahead of the game and figure it out before they can, then you can protect yourself from getting abandoned. So what you will proceed to do after this is you will call it out to them and point out to them like, hey, I noticed A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you literally just point out all the little things that you noticed that they did and why they did it. And you're going to ask them, you're going to interrogate them. Okay, just go ahead and interrogate them and be like, why did you do this? What does this mean? How do you feel? Let's have a talk. Okay? And you're going to ask for constant attention and validation and approval and affirmation and reassurance that everything is okay and that they are not going to leave you. And this is going to keep them close. This is not going to lead to abandonment. The last and final tip that I have for you is to see potential in your partner, even if they're not who you want them to be. Just continue to believe in them no matter what they do and how they treat you, okay? Sort of like ignore all of the red flags, ignore everything that they do, ignore the fact that they don't meet your needs and they don't, that they do neglect you or whatever it is that they're doing. Literally, like, just don't look at that. Like, that's not important. What's important is the potential. What's important is who they can become in your mind, in your imagination, in your fantasy, and you just keep focusing on that. But do make sure that whenever they don't act the way that they are in your imagination, that you try to control them and that you kind of like demand for them to change and to be different and to do better, and definitely make sure that they're not good enough. Like make sure that they feel like not good enough, like they're not doing a good job. Just like make sure you like kind of shame them. Definitely like don't accept them for who they are, because the more that you like accept them for who they are, the more that they stay that shitty way that you don't want them to be. So you have to like force them and like control them, like be really, really demanding and smothering and like overpowering for them to actually like finally change and be that potential that you see in them. I'll leave you with some final like smaller tips to make sure that you never get abandoned and, successfully become anxiously attached. And some of those are to never ever take space from your person, okay? okay? Like, don't have a life, don't have boundaries, don't go out with your friends, don't indulge in your own hobbies. Just like completely become consumed by this person and this relationship. Do whatever it is that they want to do. Do not have a voice, do not speak your needs. Just kind of follow their lead, hang out with them and their friends, do whatever it is that they want to do. Because if you abandon this relationship and you start to choose yourself, then you're going to get abandoned. It makes total sense. The anxiety that comes up for you is always telling you to attach more and to ask them to soothe you, because you're not capable of soothing yourself. So you need them to do that for you. So think like calling them more, texting them more often, showing up at their work, checking their emails, seeing if they're doing anything, checking their phone, planning a bunch of dates for the weekend to make sure that you guys spend like quality time together, changing your personality to become more of what they like. And just remember, like, completely neglect yourself so that they don't abandon you. So I hope that these tips were helpful in helping you become more anxiously attached so that you never get abandoned, because of course that is the way, right? Like, that obviously makes so much sense. Is like, the more attached you become, the more you get what you want. And obviously this is all a joke, and like none of this is real, and like do not follow these steps and tips. I'm just in a lighthearted, sarcastic, very extremely sarcastic way trying to point out these patterns that anxiously attached people have that are sabotaging their relationships and sabotaging themselves. Okay, I just want to say this one was definitely a harder video to make because I come from anxious attachment, so this like hit home for me in a lot of ways. Of course, it was easier to make the avoidant one because those are the villains in my story. But these weren't all behaviors that I used to embody, but this is anxious attachment, and it's definitely just triggers a little bit more and hits a little bit deeper. So I just want to say that if you do have anxious attachment, this is not shaming you. So yeah, I have all the love for you. I have all of the compassion. I think this video is just a great opportunity in a more lighthearted, funny way to become aware of these kind of ridiculous patterns that we have to seek validation, to seek attention, to seek closeness. And hopefully it helps you to realize that these are not the ways to have that kind of intimacy with another person, and for you to realize that you are whole and you are wonderful and beautiful and worthy without having to perform or having to be anything that these people want you to be. Okay, so essentially the message is to obviously not follow these tips and to find your own wholeness within, and just understand that you can never be abandoned, and becoming your own safe space for yourself, which ensures that you will never be abandoned, because no one can abandon you, because abandonment is you giving the power to someone to leave when they don't have that kind of a power to abandon you. They can leave, but you don't feel abandoned, because abandonment feels that you feel alone. It feels like you're orphaned. And how can you feel alone and orphaned when you have yourself, when you have that safe space within yourself? Okay, so that's like the whole journey here, and this is something that I have been healing and I have been working on and evolving out of, and reclaiming my self-worth and all of that. So I hope that you found this in some way, shape, or form helpful. Please let me know in the comments below. I love you so much, and I will see you in my next video.